Yo, what is up, my friends? It is August 17th, 2 days away from my birthday, which is this Friday, August 19th. It's going to be my big 32 fiesta down in Mexico. That's 32 for you guys who don't speak a lick of Spanish, but pretty crazy. I started trading when I was 20 years old, so I've been in the game for almost 12 years now. But anyways, guys, great session today. Banked 4,600 bucks at the end of the day. First stock we're going to talk about is NAK. This is something that was on the watch list from last night. We actually tried to short this yesterday. Unfortunately, did not work out the way exactly I wanted to. I stopped out for break even at 112, but this came back down today and actually had a significant drop that we took advantage of. Yesterday formed a shooting star candle. I'm not really one to follow candlestick patterns, but that was actually a bearish shooting star candle, also right above that dollar mark. So this thing made a huge significant run from about 30 something cents up to 117, 116 yesterday. I was hoping to see a crack below $1, and that's exactly what happened right out of the gates this morning. If you look closer into the open, we opened at 103 here, and this thing started dropping. We started seeing some big selling pressure. As you can see, this huge volume spikes. I went in 20,000 shares as soon as I started seeing some selling pressure. As soon as I started seeing even more selling pressure, I was looking at the bidders on level 2. You have to understand how to watch level 2 because that's where you actually see the supply and demand. Obviously, we're looking at the charts to follow chart patterns, but behind the scenes you got to look at level 2 to see the actual supply and demand, to see where the buyers and the sellers are on the stock. So as soon as I kept seeing people chipping away at about 101 and 1 on NAK, I added another 20,000. So I was actually total 20 or 40,000 shares of NAK looking for that crack below 1. As soon as this thing cracked below 1, this thing just started really accelerating, selling off. I got out pretty early at 95 cents, but that was a quick 2,000 bucks within about the first 10 minutes of the market open. So we got off to a very good start on NAK, up 2,000 bucks. Nothing better than starting out with a hot trade to really build your confidence and get ready to tackle the next trade. And that's what we did next on THLD. This was another stock that had been on the watch list for about the last week now. This is a Fous 4 revival pattern. Basically, a Fous 4 revival is a pattern where the lead-in trend here is bearish. As you can see that we have the lead-in trend here on THLD is bearish. This thing has been basing out with a breakout point right around 68 to 70 cents for quite some time. We actually traded this here on this first initial breakout, made a little cash, but we never saw an actual continuation. Once this started forming up this kind of triangular pattern that we have right here, as well as the longer term chart with that breakout zone right around 70 cents, I started putting this on the watch list as a very close watch again, and actually got long this thing this morning. 20,000 shares right here at about 65.5 cents. You can see this huge volume coming in here on THLD. Unfortunately, look at this thing. I got out right here, 75 cents. I was in 20,000 shares, out 75. I was up $2,000 on this in, freaking 5 minutes after I just locked in over $2,000 on NAK. So I was like, shit, I'm up 4,000 bucks already on these two stocks within, the first several minutes of the market open. So I got it, out way too quick, 75 cents. A lot of you guys continue to hold, and this thing went all the way upwards of $1.20. So there was a lot more money to be made. These Fous 4 breakout patterns can really fly sometimes, so it's good to understand, the longer term aspect of the trade. Fous 4 breakouts are typically not just a single day trade. Fous 4, the original DVD, is all about swing trading. But once you see profits come in that quick, a lot of times I just like to get out, lock in those gains. The ideal situation is to take partial positions out on the way up. I just was a little anxious. I saw 4,000 bucks in my account, and I was like, boom, it's only 15 minutes in the market open. I want to lock this in. Mike actually got short. I also tried to get short here, upwards of the over-under short at $1 per share. Obviously, when we see a huge significant move on a parabolic move like we see on this, we look for over-under shorts at whole numbers. So that's exactly what happened here on THLD. Mike actually just posted a video lesson, so if you want to see Mike's explanation of why he got short here on THLD, definitely check out the video lesson that's posted just before this one, and Mike made a nice $850 profit, I believe it was, on THLD. I missed my entry just barely here. Tried to get in right here at 1 for a short after selling my long profit at 75 cents. From there, this thing just continued to rip upwards of 120, but at the end of the day, came back down. It's about 98 cents. So just looking at this chart, guys, look what happened within the first hour. There is a lot of action. That's why I only focus on trading the market open. Look what happens if you try to trade it the rest of the day. You're just going to be bouncing back and forth, getting wish-washy around. This is when you give all your morning gains back. If you continue to sit at your computer and you're trying to trade this for a secondary run, secondary breakdown, secondary breakout, and it just does nothing. It's in a slow lull, low volume, nothing's happening. That's why I only focus on the opening, because that's when you see all the volatility to go long or short. This could have gone long up here. Mike got short after it hit 1. So you can hit it on both ends of the trade when you see a lot of volatility in stocks. But if you sit around and try to screw around with all this sideways action, you're just going to be giving back, small gains or small losses throughout the rest of the session. So I only try to focus on the opening price action, and that's what the Fous 4 trading system is all about. Other trade that was a hot trade, that was a quick little short here right out of the gates this morning as well, was CRK. If you look at this stock, this had a reverse split. Obviously, what we've seen surprisingly in the last year or so is reverse splits for some reason have turned into momentum plays. I don't know how to explain this or why this happens. Reverse split is usually signaling that the stock is a total piece of junk and they're just trying to make it a more attractive price, so that people actually trade it. All that's doing is just going from some sort of penny stock that's traded at 5 cents to upwards of $3 per share per se on CRK, and then all of a sudden these stocks have blown up. So I don't really know the explanation of why reverse splits have all of a sudden become hot plays over the last year. But this is also an oil play. Oil obviously has been making a huge run significantly over the last couple of weeks or so, as we've seen in REN, MPET, that I've been trying to short, not too successfully, unfortunately. But CRK, oil was actually down pre-market, and CRK was gapping open. So I liked to see that this thing was actually pre-market gapping, and I was looking for the over-under short. Again, what I was just talking about on THLD is a parabolic move to a whole number, and that's what we saw here on CRK. I was hoping to see this gap up and then drop back below 6. That's exactly what happened. I got short 2,000 shares at 640. Next thing you know, this thing had this huge crack right out of the gates this morning. I covered at 585 for $1,200 gain. Again, there was that volatility right at the open within the first 15-30 minutes. The rest of the trade session, not a whole lot of action. Did have a little bit of a dip and then a rally, but this is kind of this sideways action. It's not predictable. It's a waste of your time to sit at your computer all day and trade. That's not what you should be doing. You should be able to lock in those gains like I did, $4,600 right at the open this morning, and walk away. Be able to enjoy whatever, go to your day job. I went and worked out, hung out on the beach for a little bit, and I also have a lot of other side work that we do at fousalerts.com in addition to alphascans.com, which is a new charting and scanning application. This is TC2000. Screw these guys. I hate them. AlphaScans is going to blow this out of the water. Unfortunately, I have to use this because our product is not done yet. But anyways, guys, go check out alphascans.com, and that's it for today. $4,600. Well, bam.